From the very beginning, I want to note that it will not be possible to find direct evidence. The only way is to find photo and video evidence of her sleeping with a large number of partners. For example, we can mention Sasha Grey, who has achieved success in this field. Everything else is just an indirect indication. If you want to find out how to understand that a girl had a lot of guys, you need to rely, first of all, on common sense and stop thinking in stereotypes. Why is this important for men? Globally, there are two main reasons. The first is critically low self-esteem and instilled beliefs. In the first case, we are talking about the fact that a man is looking for external support and a girl becomes that. 1. She is inaccessible, socially prestigious, a valuable trophy, and if it was he who got such a girl, then his own importance increases. After all, everyone could get an easily accessible one, and in this case certain qualities were required that others do not have. The guy, thanks to his companion, increases his self-esteem. The second reason is related to the norms that have been instilled in the man. Everything should be exactly like this, and nothing else. If everything goes wrong with you, you are considered wrong. There is a fear of rejection, and the man tries to meet all the conditions in order to maintain his position in the group to which he belongs. Family, among friends, both places place high demands on the girl, including the position of the original innocence. In many cultures, there is still a tradition to check for virginity before marriage, and some African tribes even carry out operations aimed at depriving girls of the opportunity to enjoy intimacy. I don't even want to. But most men do not need such rigid guidelines. It is important for them that their companion simply was not fallen and had no connections with a similar lifestyle. How do you physically understand that a girl had a lot of boyfriends? The easiest way to live is for uneducated people. This has long been a well-known fact. One of my friends, after the first night with his new girlfriend, said that he decided to leave her because he was faced with the effect of a pencil in a glass. It's obvious that she passed through the lights and waters. I don't need any proof. Everything is in the palm of my hand. In the case of young girls, the criterion may be this. She says that I am her first, but there was no blood. She tried to deceive me. She's a fool. There's no doubt about it at all. Or even more interesting, she told the guy that she had only been to him once, but she did everything as if she had experienced it. He can. You can't fool me. I understood everything right away. All these men should know a few medical secrets. No one hid them from you, but somehow it turned out that you didn't hear anything about it. Firstly, weak muscles in 99% of cases have nothing to do with the number of partners. In addition, it is likely that your baby is far from a giant. Maybe you will find it spacious in the eye of a needle. Secondly, the absence of blood during defloration is quite common. Either the hymen stretched out, or the hole in it turned out to be larger than your friend. For some, even with a rupture, nothing unusual happens, a couple of drops that no one even noticed. There are a million such stories, and if you don't believe me, then make an appointment with a good gynecologist and ask him about it. Thirdly, behavior during physical intimacy also does not always indicate a lot of experience. Perhaps the girl is gentle and active on her own. Any man with a large number of women will tell you that the experience can even hurt. Sometimes an absolute beginner in this business gives 10 times more pleasure. It may seem to you that she is special, but in reality your desires and needs coincide. I'll tell you a secret. For most poses, the combination of your height and physiological structure is more important than experience. But unfortunately, a huge number of guys in physiology did not figure it out and made erroneous conclusions. Just imagine how many girls have become victims of an uncouth man who left them with accusations and insults. We draw the first conclusion. You will not be able to feel a large number of former partners with your girlfriend in any way. This is unrealistic and the risk of making a mistake is too high. In general, if you want a clean girl, find yourself a representative of the fairer sex with a disoriented type of attachment. They need an additional cost to enter into a close relationship, and they will not sleep with just anyone. Long courtship guarantees large financial investments and the obvious benefits of a partner are required. The trouble is that most men won't pull it off, and if they do, they'll get tired. I relaxed a little. The benefits decreased and the guy flies out of the relationship like a cork out of a bottle. And then a girl may not date anyone at all for 5 years. The second type of women who do not allow themselves sexual diversity is religious ladies. There is a nuance here. Did her parents impose compliance with the norms of faith on her? Or did she come to this decision on her own? This is important because if you look at interviews with famous actresses of adult films, it becomes clear that severe restrictions in childhood and adolescence lead to separation. When obtaining freedom, a modest and quiet girl can easily break away when moving to a megacity. If religion means something to her, then she definitely won't have a lot of sexual partners. There is a set of rules that she adheres to. It is not always a question of intimacy happening only after the wedding, but as a rule, priorities are set differently and therefore the girl spends most of her time not on carnal pleasures, but on platonic love. And he has no desire to change companions like loves either. This can also include mentally healthy girls with a reliable type of attachment. Such people do not consider it a problem to sleep on the first day and even 10 minutes after the meeting. If sympathy arises, they can easily give themselves almost immediately. But first of all, they are guided by their own feelings and do not give in to manipulation. Secondly, they are able to be in a healthy relationship and therefore most often quickly find themselves a man with whom they have been dating for a very long time. Therefore, they have no time to walk around. They are happy in a romantic union with one person. So how do you know that a girl had a lot of boyfriends? We look at her type of attachment. Anxious and worryingly avoidant people often fly out of a relationship on their own initiative or because they got a companion. They do not know how to choose a partner. They almost always fall in love with those with whom they are not on the way. The house of cards quickly collapses and the next one appears in life. By the age of 30, you can accumulate a whole collection. Girls brought up in strict restrictions by their parents almost always go into isolation when they receive freedom. If your companion is one of them, then we can assume that there was a period in her life when men replace each other like frames on a movie. But again, it is very important to remember that these are only indirect signs. You can easily make a mistake in the analysis. How does the sexual constitution affect the number of men in a woman's life? Surely many people have noticed that girls who are not the most beautiful from the point of view of generally accepted norms often have a large number of fans. They are so active that men appear literally out of the blue. And at the same time, there is a false belief about long-legged beauties. You'll probably be surprised, but the most recognized models don't often become readily available. There's a secret here. A girl's need for a man arises under the influence of hormones. This is primarily influenced by the state of health, but there is one characteristic inherent at birth. In medicine, this term sounds like this: the sexual constitution. It can be weak, medium and strong, or low, medium, high. Everyone likes it here. As a result, the girl either wants often, a lot and regularly, or does not see the meaning of her life in intimacy. And it also happens that all these tenderness did not give up for nothing at all. Once a month is fine, for show. Naturally, the owners of a strong sexual constitution are engaged in this business much more often, and it is likely that there might not have been a permanent partner. Therefore, we can assume that the list of exes is decent. These are just our guesses, but at least they are based on medical fact. Here are the signs of such girls. The index toe is much longer than the thumb. The legs are much shorter in relation to the body. The myth that long-legged girls are very active in bed is absolutely untenable. Girls with a high sexual constitution are always short-legged. Now sugaring and other appellation hide the main feature, the degree of body hair loss. One thing is important for us to know: the more a girl's body hair grows, the more she needs male attention. And the cherry on the cake is breast size. A small one to a single one indicates a high need for physical intimacy. As a result, we get something like this image: a girl with short legs and a lot of body hair, with small breasts and a long index finger on her foot. This body structure is caused by a certain combination of hormones in the body, which provokes a man's desire. It will be difficult to keep such a person within the specified limits, and it is likely that one thing will not be enough for her. If you are looking for an immaculate and innocent companion, then there will obviously be problems with such a one. Even if you are her first and she will not change, then you will have to work for 3 instead of the total. If we return to psychology, then the question how to understand that a girl had a lot of guys is not asked by confident men. By and large, this does not matter at all. Only personal emotional comfort in an existing relationship is more important. If you pay attention to this characteristic, then you either have low self-esteem, or it is very important for you to conform to a certain norm of the society in which you live. Thanks for your attention. Be sure to share your opinion in the comments.